Hi, my name is Daniela and welcome to my channel. So today I'll be introducing a new project pan. This one I actually created for the Fantastic Ladies Facebook group, and it's all about Star Wars, which I'm really excited about. I even have one of my favorite shirts on. So this project's called the Star Wars Panning Saga Project Pan. And so it's all about the Star Wars universe and the characters in it. Now, if you know Star Wars, you know the universe is really big. There's so many characters that have come out over so many movies, shows, so much. So in this project, we'll be starting off with the original trilogy. It's also going to be a short-term project. So it'll be from January 25th until May 25th. And May 25th is the day that New Hope was released. At first I was thinking of doing this project like a year long and just including all the most important characters at first. But there's been so many year-long projects in the Facebook group. And I really like short-term projects, so I thought this would be better suited for a shorter-term project and just have multiple. So in this project, you work through 13 character prompts, but the rules are relaxed. So 13 might be quite a bit for 4 months, but you can do this project however you want. So you can either start with all 13 characters. That's what I'll do. I just want to make sure I work on all the characters. But you can do all 13 or just start with some, however many you want. Either start with your favorites or choose them randomly or in numerical order, however you want to do it. And you can just work on some of them and that's it. Or you can work on a handful and then roll in as you finish prompts. So first I'll go through the character prompts and just explain why I chose their prompts. And then I'll go through the items I selected for myself. So first we start with Darth Vader, the famous protagonist. He's definitely one of my top 3 favorite characters. And so for him, since he's so mysterious and I mean, he wears all black, I chose an item that has all black packaging. So it doesn't matter what's on the inside, just that it's all black on the outside. Next is Obi-wan Kenobi. Kenobi is someone you can always rely on. So, a product you can always rely on. Then we have Yoda. Now Yoda is extremely old. You know, he's more than 800 years old when he passes away. His species can live a really long time. So for this, the prompt would be the oldest item in your collection. Really trying to get that really oldest product. Then we have Han Solo. For this, kind of just going with his last name, a solo product. So something that's you know, alone in its category. Maybe it's the only item you have of that category. Maybe it's the only item you have of that brand, or maybe of that color, like you only have one red lipstick, for example, that sort of thing. Then we have Chewbacca, Han Solo's co-pilot and best friend. Now Chewbacca's a Wookiee, so Wookiees are all hair, kind of like Bigfoot, and because of that, went with a hair care product. Then we have Leia Organa. You know, she's the badass of the series. So for this, since she's such a badass character, I went with something that makes you feel badass or look badass. However, whatever just makes you feel that way. Then we have Luke Skywalker. Since he kind of rose out of nowhere, so for this, it's a new Holy Grail. So something that became a Holy Grail recently. Then we have R2-D2. R2-D2 is my favorite character in Star Wars. He was a longtime favorite. Now it's kind of rivaled with Ahsoka Tano, if you know her. But yeah, I always loved R2-D2. So for him, something that's white and blue. So not just one or the other, it has to contain both. To whatever degree. It could be like just a little bit of blue and white lettering, whatever you want. And then his pal, C-3PO, the very talkative C-3PO. He's a protocol droid, so he's got all his manners, and he's able to translate in 6 million languages. So for him, it's a product that has writing in a foreign language. Darth Sidious, he is the dark power in the original trilogy that then is defeated by Luke and Darth when Darth goes back to the light side. So for this, Darth Sidious, since he is dethroned from being the Sith Lord, he is a dethroned Holy Grail. So this is either a Holy Grail that, you know, is dethroned by, let's say, a newer Holy Grail, or you just don't like it anymore, or it's a Holy Grail that eventually won't be able to be a Holy Grail anymore because, let's say, it's been discontinued. And now we have kind of some more side characters that are still pretty famous. So we have Admiral Akbar, and he's got the famous line, "It's a trap." So for this, it's an item that you thought or heard was going to be good, but ended up being a trap, so it wasn't good in the end. Then we have Boba Fett. During the original trilogy, he was a very mysterious, non-talkative character. A lot of people really liked him because, you know, he was mysterious, but then he was the cowboy. For him, since he was a really big favorite, and still is a really big favorite in the Star Wars universe, I decided to do a popular favorite. So something that you think is a favorite for a lot of people. And last but not least, we have Jabba the Hutt. So, you know, he kind of looks like this huge blob. You know, it kind of looks like, I don't know, I guess like a slug. So just kind of ugly looking, supposed to smell gross too. So for this, it'd be an item that you think looks or smells gross. Okay, now I'll go through what I chose for each prompt. So first, with Darth Vader, I went with the one Star Wars makeup product I have. So this is from ColourPop, the Star Wars packaging. I actually have two of them here. So the one I'm actually working on is this one, but you can't see the Star Wars on it anymore. It rubs off way too easily. I could just rub it right now, yeah. So that's really annoying. What I chose for this is the lipstick called Supreme Ruler. And it has this really nice like stars imprint on it. So this is from one of the ColourPop Star Wars collections. And even though it looks so dark, it's actually not that dark. It's like this. The light makes it a bit brighter, but it's pretty much just a cool tone red. I have it on my lips. It pairs really well with a red lip gloss I'm working on right now for my happy hour project pan. So for this one in the project, I want to use it until that red lip gloss is done. I remember CoverGirl many years ago had a Star Wars collection and had several lipsticks. I had 2 of them, and the packaging on that one was way better. I still have that packaging, like, back at my family home, and that one's still intact. So I don't know, the Star Wars packaging was a bit cheap. That already wore off. It's kind of sad. Next, for Obi-Wan Kenobi, something that I can always rely on, I went with the Smith's Rosebud Salve. I've used one of these up before. They take quite a long time. I pretty much just use this to go to sleep. So you can see there is a good dip. And I mean, I'm pretty much just going to be using this every single day of the project. Then for Yoda, the oldest product in your collection, this one is pretty embarrassing, and I don't know how it's survived this long and in so many moves. Like, I'm pretty sure this has gone with me in so many, like, moves across the globe. Okay, so this is the Vicks Vapor Rub. This one's actually in Spanish because I'm pretty sure my mom bought this in Colombia. So there's still this much left. And it actually has the expiry date. So here you can see it's expired, like, I'm not sure if it's the 9th of September in 2002 or the 2nd of September in 2009. Just because sometimes they reverse the orders. So yeah, I've had this for so long, almost as old as me. I mean, if it's 2002. But yeah, like, I really want to try and finish this just because it's so old. So next, for Han Solo, I went with my one and only setting spray. So this is the Tarte Maracuya Miracle Mist. It's a very nice mist. It's kind of like one of those aerosol cans. So I have no clue how much is left in here. There is some heft to it, so it shouldn't be done too soon, but I have no clue. So I'll just mark down every time I use it. So one thing, I guess, just because of how people pronounce it, I don't know, for a while I didn't even realize it's actually maracuya. I mean, everyone said maracuja because you'd think they'd be like that, but it's actually maracuya, which means passion fruit. So in Colombia, we use the word maracuya for passion fruit, and there it's actually this yellow variety that's slightly more sour than the purple variety you normally see as like the picture of passion fruit. That one we call gulupa. Okay, so next for Chewbacca in hair care, I'm just gonna go with this deluxe sample of the Living Proof Perfect Day conditioner. So I don't think it'll be a problem to finish in 4 months. It's only 30 milliliters. Okay, next up we have Leia Organa. So something that makes you feel badass. So normally what makes me feel badass is, I guess, like a dark lip, which I don't really have any right now. Like, probably this red is one of the darker things I have, and I mean, this light makes it look like a bright red, but it's actually like slightly darker. And the other thing is grungy lips. So I really like the look of grungy lips and how it makes you look like, I guess, dark, mysterious. So yeah, I remember when there was that phase where everyone was buying like, you know, the gray or super grayish taupe lips. I had some of those too. But this is the next best thing I have. So it's the Marc Jacobs High Shine Gloss Lip Lacquer in Orchid. It's a very long name. So it looks like this. It's like a brownish taupe. So it has that grungy look, but it's still wearable. And especially if you wear it lighter, like more sheer. So yeah, I want to use this one 20 times. I think that's a good amount, like around 5 times a month. Then for Luke Skywalker, a new Holy Grail, I'm gonna go with this CoverGirl True Blend Pressed Powder. So this is in the shade Translucent Medium. So this is where I'm starting. I have somewhere in it. It's a bit hard to see. It's not too much wear. Now, I don't always use this. There's some days I want more coverage, or I think pretty much every time I film a video, I'll use it. So I want to make sure I just remember to use it. So my goal for this is to use it 20 times. Then for R2-D2, something that's white and blue. There's actually a lot of options for that, especially in skincare. They really like to use blue. So I'm gonna use this CeraVe moisturizing cream. I'm starting at here. And even though there's not too much left, I really only use this for my face. And I only really need a small amount, so it'll still take some time to get through. But then for C-3PO, a foreign language. So I guess a fun fact about me is that I know several languages. I know 4 fluently. So English, Spanish, French, and Italian. My Italian's a bit rustier now, but I could still understand it really well. And then I know like beginner Latin, like I just took the beginner course in high school, and then beginner Japanese, because, you know, I'm a weeb. So anyways, like when I was younger, I watched so many anime, and then in high school I took a beginner course. So I can understand like the basics. So for that, it's not like it's incredibly foreign, like more foreign than some other languages, but I can't really read like a lot of kanji. Like this is for Harajuku, the Nomad Harajuku palette. And this is what the inside of the palette looks like. It's very cute pastel. I have 2 pans. So this one now is Forever. This one was in Pando's eyeshadows. And then I have this huge pan in Otaku, which is Japanese for weeb. But yeah, I really love this shadow. So it's got this pink base, but it's actually not that pronounced. It has this really nice like blue glitter, and so it looks really nice with a lot of different looks. So my goal for this palette, I don't really have like a set goal. I mean, I want to use the whole thing, like at least use everything once, and I really just want to play with it, because I've learned like this purplish pink, like violet, and this pink because they have a bit of satin, they actually look really nice as blushes. This sort of cream satin is a bit hard to use, but it's actually, I think it might work well for blending out other shadows. So I'll need to experiment more with that. And then this sort of like grayish black is actually really nice for blending out and like deepening the outer corner, but not making it too deep, because it's really soft, so it's really easy to blend out. So I actually have on my eyes, I have Kuroi Niji, kind of like all over the crease, on the outside, on the inside. It's very, very sheer, so it doesn't really build up, and it's hard to see the gray. Then I have Visual K, all like a line here on the outside and on the underside. So it's really easy to make it like light, or you can pack it on and make it a bit darker. I mean, it's not going to be the darkest black, but it's really nice to blend out. And then I have Otaku just slightly on the inside here. Then for Darth Sidious, Dethroned Holy Grail, I decided to put in the Tatcha the Pearl eye cream. So this is a tinted eye cream, and it's dethroned because apparently it's been discontinued. I really like it because you only need a really, really tiny amount, and I like how it conceals the under eyes, but then it's very natural, so even if it might crease, it's easy to like just blend it out again. My goal is to use it every time I use makeup, and maybe some other days when I don't, and we'll see how much that is in the end, how much I get through. I just want to get back into the habit of using it because it's getting older, so I want to make sure I get my money's worth out of it. Then for Admiral Akbar, something you thought would be good, but ended up not being good. So for this, I went with a Jouer blush. This one's called Nomi. So it has quite a bit of wear, and there's two reasons for that. So first of all, this came from a palette, a 6-pan palette they made. It was called the Blush Bouquet. When I depotted it, this is the only one that was a bit of a casualty. What happened was I depotted it, and then sort of the whole like product, like it all just lifted up. So I kind of put alcohol on the bottom and just kind of like pressed it back down, and sometimes it like rises up and I just push it back down a bit. So it's mostly been fine. And the other reason it has wear is because it's not that good. It's really light. So like not a lot of product picks up. It also gets hard pan really easily. So when I like swirl it, it gets hard pan, and like kind of do here, but like it just went really hard on it, but it's just not that great. It's really the best way to pick up product for this blush. You can see it's really like blotchy. The best way to pick up product for this item is with the brush. But then on the brush, it's not like a lot comes onto the brush either, so you kind of just have to like scrape on it. So for this one, my goal is to wear off that imprint. So yeah, I'm wearing it today. The lights here are washing it out, but even in person, it's hard to see, and it also wears away really quickly. So next for Boba Fett, I went with a popular favorite. I'm going to roll in the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. So I got this in a set. I haven't had it for too long, maybe like a year. And this is where I'm at. I'm not sure where it started in this packaging, but at least here it's kind of halfway. There's only 0.75 grams of product in here, so if I remember to use it, I might be able to finish it in the 4 months. So that's my goal, is to finish this. And for the last one, for Java, the big ugly Java, I went with something that looks gross. So for this one, it might not look super gross, but I'm putting in Lanolips Tinted Lip Balm. This is in the shade Rhubarb. And you can see it kind of gets all messy at the top. And that's because it's like a squeeze. It's a squeeze one. I've actually had this for a long time and I hadn't tried it at all. But it's actually really nice. So when I first started using this, I started using it with my finger, and that's kind of messy. And it was like using too much, and it was hard to like really just use what you needed, and it kind of became a mess on the lips. So I figured out just applying it from the tube and spreading it with just the tip really was the best way, because you just put just enough. But then that makes the end of this pretty messy and not always the nicest looking thing. So that's what I decided to do for that. I don't think I'll be able to finish this by the end, just because it's a lot. There are 12.5 grams. And I'm starting at the top here, like I bent it. You can see where it's starting at. Yeah, those are my 13 items. I'll also have the hashtag down below if you want to do this project. You're welcome to join. Just include the hashtag, I guess reference me and the Fantastic Ladies. And yeah, if you want to follow along this project with me, please subscribe, and may the force be with you. Thanks for watching. Bye.